Ladies and gentlemen, we have an unboxing of Mars Attacks, the miniatures game. I just got this today. I opened everything up. I tried to record a video, and then it was flipped sideways, so I had to delete it and start over. So here we go. We're going to take two on Mars Attacks. So this game, I found it on Amazon. It's an older game, and so you can actually get it for really cheap now. I got it for 30 bucks, which is a steal for a full war game. There's all the miniatures that are included in it. We got two groups of Martians, a group of survivors, and a group of military. So let's open this up, shall we? And I can show you the goodness inside. So we have cardboard tokens. We have some special survivors here, like the lady in the wheelchair and some of the lead characters. And now these look like renders or photographs of some of the actual miniatures they do sell. There's also some flaming cows too. So they do make miniatures for the bug and the flaming cows and the people. It was fairly expensive. It was kind of retail price. This one I got for a deal because it was older and they're trying to get rid of it. So like it was about 30 bucks for just those guys alone, along with the cow. But in this box was 30 bucks. I think it retails for like $50 or $60. I've seen these for fairly expensive, but now that it's not popular anymore, you can get it for cheap, which is great. There's a little errata to change one of the rules, and then we have the rule book. So we'll flip through here. I just want to show you all the great art and paint jobs they've done on these models. They're really pro. Like, look at that kind of pulp art look. The Martians are so creepy, but so goofy at the same time. I love it. And look at the army dudes. Like, you could use those for just about any war game. So when I'm playing Aliens vs. Predator or Walking Dead, All Out War, I might use those army guys. That'd be fun. Maybe, just maybe, the Martians are the ones responsible for the zombie virus in Walking Dead. Conspiracy confirmed? Probably not. I've seen this model. That's a pretty cool model, but the artwork's better. So we have a lot of rules, and this is a full skirmish war game. So you've got morale, you've got different situations that you might arise in the game or the campaign. A little bit about the special characters. Again, some nice full color spreads of really close-up photos of the figures. Makes it look really nice. So there's all your missions. So it looks like we have 10 missions altogether that you can play in this map. There you go. So there's the rulebook. Now we have the miniatures. But before we get into those, I'll show you the map really quick. I hid it under there. The map is a big street intersection. Now Mantic, for all of their maps, there are these big pieces of paper. Paper posters, they're about 2 feet by 2 feet. I don't really like the Mantic maps. I mean, they're very, very generic looking, which is pretty cool for starting out. But I like to have stuff with a lot more character and a lot more variety. Anyways, that's how I feel about that. All right, so we have some little card holders to make some of the cardstock stuff stand up. And then we have the scenery. We have some brick buildings that look like they just fit together. And they're already a nice little brick kind of base color. A bunch of little brick bits for snapping all those together. And then we have some neat little wall sections here. Let's open this one up. Ah! Oops. Well, be careful. All right, so some of the cool stuff about this that I noticed, like here's just like a door. It's turned into like a makeshift barrier. We have some more little barriers. These would be great for Walking Dead. Got some trash cans, some street signs. Looks like we have a little hanging pot lamp. Stop sign. The word stop. And some fences. I'm going to try to grab some of this stuff over here. Okay, here we go. Here's a little bus stop bench. And this one's really cool. This is a little shopping cart. And a broken fence turned into a makeshift barrier there. That's got a lot of character to it. Very, very cool. I could use that in all kinds of stuff. Especially Walking Dead or some zombie apocalypse thing. Now the game has a bunch of D8s. And these cards. This image was featured on the Topps trading cards for Mars Attacks. It's one of the best paintings I've ever seen, really, of a Martian. And you can also see this on the box art for a bunch of other games that were released with the Mars Attacks license. Now these are double-sided cards with a side for the aliens and the humans. So these look like little strategies that can be played during the game to do different things. And now we get into the miniatures. Alright, so here's the Special Forces. They're your standard U.S. Army, modern warfare kind of guys. A little rocket launcher there. Each one has a different pose. Some of them are armed with close combat weapons. They'll have those assault rifles. This guy is really cool. I like that with the sandbags. That's really neat. I really like that figure. Now these miniatures are plastic that kind of, you can see it's a little wiggly. The bases are good. Bases are nice and solid. I really like those. But to kind of give you a comparison, here's the Walking Dead All Out War miniatures game. Actually, wait, no. This is Zombicide. I'm sorry. That's Zombicide next to Mars Attacks. So you can see these guys are considerably bigger. These guys are probably 28 millimeter. These guys are more like 30 millimeter. And if you compare Walking Dead, here's Walking Dead from Mantic Games. Again, these are single cast figures, the same as Mars Attacks, but it looks like they learned a little bit more when they did Walking Dead. And they made these guys chunkier looking because they wanted to match the comic books a little bit more. These guys are a little bit more realistic, which I thought was an interesting choice, how Mantic changed the look of their models. But these guys in particular would be pretty easy to paint. Now the Survivors, on the other hand, these guys are kind of cheap plastic. It's the same plastic, I think, but it's the red colors mixed into this stuff, and just the weapons are really wiggly. And you can see the flashing on this is terrible. I'm going to have to really sand that off and clean it up. So you got this knight kind of character, which is pretty interesting. Then we have some of the other survivors. Kind of just go through these guys really quick. And she's got a crossbow there. And we got a mechanic. These guys are fairly generic, but they'd make great civilians for any game, really. Bunch of female characters, which is pretty neat. This looks like mainly female characters. And we have this guy. He's pretty awesome. But again, the detail isn't great on these, but they're enough, for a box set. And then we got a bunch of these Martian helmets. I think they included more than you need because they knew you'd mess it up and probably break a few of these or lose them. But these are the Martian helmets. They're clear plastic, all in little Ziploc bags. I'm going to keep them that way until they're done being painted. Also mixed in with the human survivors was the Martian leader. We got this figure here. Get nice and close. You can see kind of detail on this one. Again, it's not great detail, but as you've seen from the paint jobs on these, you could do pretty darn well because they are fairly simple. The heads the brains have a lot of little detail in there, but the grooves don't go very deep, and you have those annoying mold lines. So we gotta deal with that when modeling these guys. But the regular Martian troopers, again, you got those mold lines on there, but if you don't care about that, I mean, you could play this right out of the box because you can definitely tell the difference between the characters just from the colors they've chosen. And choosing the Martian color to be kind of that green was very helpful. So when I first opened this box, I had 2 separate bags of Martians, and each bag had the same selection of sculpts. So I got basically 2 of these guys, 2 of these guys, 2 of each of the looks. Some of these Martians are even equipped with these little daggers, which is pretty cool. All right, so there you go. So again, Mars Attacks. It's kind of a niche game for people who are into Mars Attacks, the IP. You're not gonna really find very many players, probably, but for $30, you get your 2 factions and you get a little quick skirmish game. I think it's cool. If you find Mars Attacks interesting at all, I recommend it. Especially since you can get it for pretty cheap now that they don't really make it anymore. Oh, and then you also get this little loyalty card, which I don't know if they still do that, but that's kind of cool. So, yeah, Martian Invasion. Unboxed. Mars Attacks, the miniatures game.